Hi, everyone. So, for my organizational culture at my field placement, so first of all, I'm at my sister's place, which is a domestic violence shelter. Um, and there's a lot of organizational culture that once coming into the shelter, you kind of are there realizing that, okay, this is a rule, this is how we are about here, and you just kind of go with the flow. So, the first one I want to bring up is the fact that you don't really talk about whatever domestic violence situation any of the women have gone through before unless they either A, bring it to you first and open up to you about it first after you establish a rapport to them, or B, you have to kind of do some sort of counseling or casework information with them and have to get the information out of them in a certain way that you need that appropriate information. So otherwise you don't talk about any past history with them and you just kind of let them do their thing. Another unspoken rule at the shelter is that everyone kind of minds their own business unless there's a group time or an activity or something like that, or if they're all in the kitchen and they're just talking. But most of the time, a lot of people just mind their own business so that they don't really necessarily get in anyone's way, or they don't really just kind of interact in that sort of way. There are still some circumstances where the women will interact with each other, but it's not very often. A lot of the times, like if they're off doing their own thing, they're off doing their own thing. So you just got to let them take care of everything themselves. So I think that the first characteristic of, just not talking about their situation is kind of challenging in the environment, just because a lot of the times the women are kind of just keeping in their past trauma inside of them, and they feel like there's no one to really talk to about these situations. And at the same time, they've probably dealt with it tremendously, so they don't want to talk to anyone about those situations. And then the second case about them minding their own business is kind of supportive for the working environment so that there isn't really any conflicts going on as much. There are still some here and there, but most of the time they try not to get in conflicts with each other. They just try to do their own thing, and they want to make sure that they are themselves independent so that they can be able to move on to the next available living situation. And then the stage of tribal leadership that I think best describes this culture is definitely between stages 1 and 2, the life sucks and my life sucks, because a lot of the people that first come into the shelter they can be very hostile, they can be very traumatized due to the abuse that they have previously experienced. So they just don't want to deal with anyone, or it could be my life sucks where they would come in and they would still be, upset from all the trauma, but they would try to, get themselves integrated into the shelter. So they would actually do some of the chores on the list, or they would just integrate themselves with other women or with us, the staff, to kind of build a rapport right from the start. So I feel like it can be either or of those. Just taking away the group sense, or the self sense of it, and then the group sense of not really enjoying the fact that they have to be in a shelter, and not really enjoying the fact that they ended up in this situation in the first place. So yeah, thank you for watching.